Okay, so we are going to go ahead and continue. So I'm going to convert this back to an edit poly. And the first thing I probably want to do is I probably want to go ahead and just clean up some of these edges over here. Just have them connected. For now they can stay quite basic connection wise. We will clean it up later on. So let's go ahead and do a target weld. And I'm just going to, let's see here. Are these two? Oh no, it's one. I'm just going to target weld these pieces together over here. Those ones I will fix later on. I'm going to target weld this one. And yeah, these ones are a bit tricky. So we cannot do much with this geometry outside of here, but I have an idea of how we can still create like the bevels. I first of all just need to go in here. Oh, there we go. I knew I forgot something. This one. And I think over here it's just already too close. So let's just press collapse just to make sure. And this one, I don't need. That is strange. It feels like there's a different poly count on opposite sides, but that shouldn't. It shouldn't do that. So let's just make sure that they are actually even before I continue with this. Here, see? This one can go away. These look all fine. Okay. So basically with this stuff, I'm just gonna go ahead and for now what I will do is I probably will just actually leave it like this. So I will connect this nicely later on. What we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and we are going to extrude this in and move this out so that we get this piece, and then just place a segment in between here and then start beveling it, because we cannot bevel this edge, it will just break. So what I will do instead is I will go ahead and let's see, I think I need to bridge these pieces first over here so that we just create like a little bridge. Then I can just go ahead and select everything, deselect the top and the bottom and bridge this also so that we at least have like a solid piece over here. And now I can just go ahead and select that. And if I go to my side view, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and extrude this using a local normal. Let's move this. Well, I believe up until this point, if I look at this side, yeah, I'm guessing up until this point should be fine. So yeah, this goes around here. I don't know exactly what this piece is. See? So this goes down here, but I'm not sure why this piece goes down here. We'll improvise, don't worry. So basically, we have something like this. Then we want to go ahead and scale this down, and we want to scale this down up until, just make sure that we probably want to like continue this pattern later on. So for now, I eyeball it, I guess. We will need to do that quite a bit. So I'm going to say up until this point. I'm sorry that I cannot give you like precise numbers, but that's just not how it works in this case. And then for this one over here, I'm just going to go ahead and move this up. Probably around this point. And maybe move it forward a bit just to compensate for that little roundness. There we go. So we got this piece. We can go ahead and we can delete this back face. So later on we will need to go ahead and just do like another extrusion, but I will work on that. For now what you can do is if you just select these two faces. So you can select these two edges. Just press ring to just quickly ring them around. And then just place a single connect like this. Now with the single connect, if we go ahead and just make this or push this out quite far, further than you would want to, then what you can do is, I think we need to push it down also, but basically the general concept is that we add like a, over here like a chamfer, and we just bevel this. But seeing this, yes, I need to move this down, so I need to compensate for that, for the fact that it is bent. So here, if we move this down and then scale this out, so that this is roughly in the center over here. And now we should be able to just do like a simple chamfer. Give it like a bunch of segments, so like 6 maybe. Here, and we can just push this all the way down. See? And then we get this very easy, nice looking, soft transition. So 6 segments or 5. I'm gonna go for 6 segments just because I know that this is going to be super close to the camera. So just like in case. Now that we have this piece, at this point I'm just going to select all of these vertices, do a very quick weld settings at like a very low value so that we can weld it all together. And now our most favorite thing, we need to do some cleanup. So for the cleanup, I want to keep my geometry very clean. However, in this case, in order to do that, I would need to already like extrude or move these vertices down this way. But I don't want to do that because I still need a lot of this geometry later on for over here. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to add a very quick swift loop like this. And I basically will just move my edges and just end them there. And this is basically just me telling to future self that I need to still clean it up later on. Over here, I'm going to merge this one. Now, I don't like doing that too many times. What I like to do is I like to often just, on like, if we have like very large surfaces, I like to just keep the edges as quads. And then as soon as we hit like a thinner surface, then we can just go ahead and like go to something smaller. So for example, over here, what you might want to do is you might want to simply move an edge all the way around, because we need to have it on the other way anyway. And then we can use this edge as like a little connection point for all of the other edges. So what we can do is this. So we can select, move this one here, but for these ones we can select and move it like this. This one we can move over here. This one, yeah, that should be just enough so that it's not too distorted. And over here, temporarily, I'm just going to move it like this. I need to be very careful because this shape needs to stay intact and it needs to stay very nice and smooth. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant. But the nice thing about modeling is that you can always just remove edges again. And these edges are not a pain to remove or anything like that. So I can do the same over here. I can move this to that edge, this to that edge, and this to this edge. So that it is at least connected. So we got that connection point. Now we have this end edge over here. All we need to do for this one is really just do a quick extrusion. Extrude this inwards and let's see. So it does look smooth when we extrude this inwards. But it does actually, does the extrusion end here? Yeah, so what I probably want to do is I probably want to just, the inside, I want to probably revert back to this diameter that we have over here. Am I saying that correct? This diameter looks about the same as this. What we can also do is we can also do this. We can also go to our side view. And just as I said that, I actually realized that that wouldn't really work for this one. And the reason for this is if you can see over here, like this is what I want to replicate. However, if we look, we base the body on this and you can see that this one, this body is slightly different. And that's why also the link is slightly different. So that's no problem. It just means that we need to improvise a bit. So we are going to try and make it similar to something like this. So we're going to insert it, extrude this out. And I just need to, yeah, so that should all work fine. And then we are going to create a shape that is just like a nice cylinder. Actually, this extrusion that we will make out, we will also make it round again. So I have a cool idea for this. So if I just go ahead and I'm just going to delete this extrusion so that we can just do like a fresh one. Delete this. Oh, hello. Be careful. If you see stuff like this, what I would do is I would delete it, but I would just quickly go to vertex mode because that means that there is a double edge. So vertex mode, select everything and just do a quick weld edge. Here, see, you can see that we are merging edges together. And now we can go back into our border view. And let's see. So we are going to go ahead and I'm just having a look at my other view. Here because that flows over. Let's just see how it works. So extrude this in and just keep a look at so roughly this extrusion. So what I'm worried about is this. See this transition over here? So this one goes around and cuts, but then all of a sudden we have this transition. So what we might want to do is we might actually want to create that using this shape. So if I just extrude this out, see up until around this point. Now what it looks like is that when we get to around this vertex, or no, this one, it starts to go straight down and starts to link together with this vertex. Just trying to have a think. So over here, let's see, we extrude this in it goes here and then starts to link down to that vertex, and then it just moves over normally. So it starts to link down here, and then but then these pieces, does that mean that we just need to extrude those in? So let's have a look. So we are linking it down from, let's say, this point. So if I simply go ahead, and I'm just trying this out quite messily, and I'm doing this by just merging some vertices together. Like this, and then just merge this up until like this point. So let's see, would it look like that? And then just have it flat? Or would it have like a little thin edge around this? Okay, this is a bit of a brain teaser, if I look at it. So what I'm going to do is, I think what I want to do is I might just want to go ahead and quickly create a spline just to give me like some measurements. And then using that spline, I can just measure everything up. Oh, hello. I don't know where the cylinder comes from, but we can actually use it. Huh? Where does that cylinder come from? Okay, anyway, so we can actually use this one because I can use the cylinder. And I can like scale it up so that we can, let's see, move it up here. We need it anyway because we need to measure it for when we extrude this part out to make it nice and round. So I'm moving this, and let's see. So we are at this version. We are not at the one below it, which means that I need to actually scale this up fairly even, something around this point over here. And then it looks like that when we get to here, if we just convert this to an added poly, and just like delete these two faces. Let's see, if we get to this point, go down, cut. Yeah, I think that point should be fine. So I'm not actually going to use a spline, because when I look at this, it might actually be easier for me to just extrude this down over here. Go to vertex mode, because when you go to vertex mode, you can very easily just like scale it evenly. So what I'm trying to achieve here is basically to see where about this all comes together. So this all comes together over here, but we still need to rotate this around. So how would that look? Because this is of course not round, so that's something that I also need to take into account. But I chose it not to be round. Like that's the thing with guns. A lot of the shapes, they look the same, but they are like the tiniest bit different, and that's often like quite annoying. So we got this piece. Let's scale it out a little bit more. And let's move it up a little bit so that over here it starts to merge together. Yes, let's do that. Let's over here it starts to merge together. And then we extrude this once more. Oh, better not to do that with vertex mode because it doesn't work like that. Extrude this in face mode once more. Let's go into vertex mode. I will show you another technique on what you can do later on, but for now I'm just focused on this. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's leave it straight like that. Let's create a quick bridge between here so that we can do like a chamfer. Set the chamfer quite high and make it round. So let's see. Okay. So that's how that would look. That should be fine. Of course, this is bad that we have like this overlapping. And this one, don't worry about that. That's something that we can fix, but let's see. Or shall we do it like this? I know that I'm being picky, but as I said before, this is important. So sorry if it takes a while for me to make up my mind, but I would really recommend that you also just take your time and not go too fast at this point. So I'm just merging this stuff together. So you can just select these vertices and just press collapse. And that will just merge them all together just to see if... Yeah, what if we go from those pieces back to round? Or we can go ahead and we can just match it up. One of the two. Let's go ahead and select these and let's move these up a little bit more. Okay, I think I think we got pretty much something. If I just go ahead and select these final bits and scale them in over here, just so that they are actually, oh, it's not exactly in the center, is it? Let's move this down like a tiny bit. There we go. So we match this up so that it is in the center like this. That should do the trick. I think that does the trick. Can we maybe use this one for anything else also? You know what? We might be able to actually use this one as like the extrusion. So all we really need to do is just merge some pieces together at this point. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. I think that's actually easier. If we just quickly grab this piece over here, we can just go ahead and create a swift loop here. Another one here and on this side. And at that point we can just take it from there. So if we are going to use this as like that actual point, I just want to make sure that it is correct before I do this, so that I do not need to change my mind later on. Yeah, so that looks like it's nicely, and then it moves down. I do not like this transition. I do not like it. No. I feel like that we might just want to go around here and just do that same piece like that. So we might just want to make this a bit softer. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm going to do that. I don't like it. So I'm just going to delete this. It doesn't take very long to do it. Just do another extrusion. But this time, extrude this up until... maybe we can even move this down. Extrude this. Bridge it. And chamfer it, and this time just make the chamfer less. Okay, so let's go ahead and just scale this in a little bit more. Yeah, let's try that. Chamfer. Yeah, I think that looks better. So let's press OK. Yeah, I like that more. So let's move this up a little bit, so to give it a little bit more breathing room in between these edges. These edges over here, let's go ahead and just move those actually up and tilt them. There we go, and then we just nicely move up. Okay, perfect, we got it. So select this piece, attach it, and now it's just a matter of merging your vertices, which is literally just doing this. Target welding them together. These are probably just the most annoying ones, but after this point you can simply just start merging it. And sometimes, yeah, you sometimes have more segments, so you just need to merge it together like this. But it should be okay. It shouldn't be too bad. It should still be fairly clean geometry. It's just that, yeah, supporting loops and everything, but we're going to do those inside of ZBrush to turn it into a high poly anyway. So I don't need to worry too much about it. But of course, for your baking, even already now you need to make sure to think about your baking and just keep things quite clean. So over here at this point, how are we? Wrong button. How are we going? I think I'm going to actually add an extra segment in between here. And merge this one down here. So let's see, so I'm adding an extra segment in between here. This one will be merged together with that one. And for this one, yeah, this one should also be able to merge together here. Just do an Alt X so that I can select this. I will just do one side and then just do the other side off camera. So do a swift loop here. Target weld this together. Come on, you can do it. There we go. And yeah, for this point, I don't know, maybe move it down a little bit more, just carefully. And at this point, if we just double click on this edge over here, what you can do is you can just deselect it up until this point here. So deselect all of these edges up until here, and just press Ctrl backspace or backspace. Ignore it when I say Ctrl backspace. That's force of habit that I'm saying that. So at this point, we can just go ahead and let's see, merge this. Let's do an Alt X to make it easier for me to see. And I'm merging that one down there. This one here. This one here. This one here. Am I doing that right? Yes, I am. This one here. I technically am still merging it correctly. It's just that we have more edges than surfaces. So let's go ahead and just cut a control backspace on these two, so that we no longer need that one. And you want to just like, here, merge these two. I think that does the trick. Over here it's not completely straight. If it is not completely straight, what you can do is if you just go to face select by angle, ignore back facing, and set this to like angle of 5, and this will just basically select just this entire angle over here. Okay, maybe I should have set this to 10, but basically if you do that and just go to your scale tool, you can scale this flat. And then it looks like that we also have a problem over here, which is what's causing this. So if you just press collapse, no double vertices, I hope. No, it doesn't look like I have any other double vertices down here, so that should be fine. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, off camera, I will just quickly do the exact same thing to that part. But as you can see over here, now we just have like a nice close flow. So I will just go ahead and off camera do this also to this side. Okay, so that's now all merged together. And there we go. So that is looking very good. So as you can see, now we have like this nice round profile at the top. And then it goes down, and over here we still just have like that it, yeah, it just fits. And that's the important thing, like that it fits. So I'm quite happy with that. Now, of course, this one is completely round, but we went for like a slightly different design. We went for, where are you? There we go. So we went for like a little flat design like we have over here. And then the other piece that we have down here, we can actually just make that round, because you can see that it still works like that. Okay, so hopefully that is pretty much this really annoying piece done that I have over here. So let's just have a look before we end this chapter. So we got that side done over here. I'm just going to go ahead and just select this border. And then if we deselect this bottom face and deselect these two top faces, we can just bridge this together over here. Now if we just go ahead and just select this border, cap poly, there we go. That should do the trick. Okay, so we got that now capped. So that I call that done, because the other side, this just belongs to the back grip over here. Now if I just have a look also at my image over here, so I can just compare. So we got this. Now we need to make this round still, but I will do that way later. I don't care about that right now. We got this grip. I feel like this one over here can go a little bit smoother over here. Just make sure that it all fits together. So looks like it does, so I'm not too worried about that. Yes, okay, and then down here, if we just have a look at what the other side looks like. Let's see, where are you? Come on, give me another angle. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so that's just kind of like softly goes in there, or it goes harshly in there. As I said before, they look very similar, but we can go very flexible with it because they are technically all slightly different. So what I will focus on in the next chapter is I will just focus on actually creating the magazine part of this. So we now have a very good idea of how thick everything is going to be and stuff like that. If we need to make any changes later on, we can always do that. Like if you just want to like scale it down a little bit. But for now, this is looking very good. So in the next chapter, I will go ahead and I will start focusing on this area. So let's continue with that.